Lots of people think of starting a book. Lots of people start a book. Lots of people write a few words for a book. Lots of people never finish their book. Why? Stay tuned. I'll tell you why, and I'll tell you how you can finish your book in a flash. Hi, I'm Dan Janal, the author of Write Your Book in a Flash. I'm a ghostwriter, book coach, and developmental editor. And no matter where you are in the writing process, I can help you write your book. And if I'm not the right person, I can refer you to my trusted network of friends and colleagues who can help you get your book done or get it through the production process or the marketing process. Okay, cool. Let's get started. Okay, why don't people finish their books? Well, there are a million reasons why they don't finish their books. We might touch on a couple of them during this episode, but I want to touch on a more important question, which is how can you ensure that you are going to finish your book? So we don't have to talk about imposter syndrome or self-worth or mindset games. We'll get into that in other episodes to be sure. But today, I really want to focus on a technique that I've used with a lot of my clients to make sure that they write their books and finish their books, because there are invariably going to be dips in your work process. Writing a book can be easy. Writing a book can be difficult. Writing a book can take some time, and you need to be able to get through the peaks and valleys of all of that. So Seth Godin wrote a book called The Dip. It's a great book, wonderful book, thin book. You could read it in 15 minutes. It's a wonderful book. The basic premise is that no matter what you're undertaking, whether it be writing a book or learning to play the guitar or studying to be a doctor, you go through a number of phases. First is the initial euphoria phase. And that phase is like, oh, this is great. I'm going to learn how to play the guitar. Oh, I'm going to be a doctor. Oh, my grandmother's going to be so proud of me. Oh, my family is going to be so proud of me. I'm writing a book. I'm going to be a doctor. I'm going to be the world's best guitar player, whatever. I mean, we all start that way. And then you learn a few chords on the guitar. And it's kind of hard, but you work through it and you get there, and that's cool. Or you're in college and you take a couple of classes, and first couple of days are pretty cool. And you're saying, this is great. I'm going to become a doctor. Wonderful. Then you plateau. It's like, gee, I'm playing the same songs over and over again. I'm not getting any better. Or this class is boring. And when are we going to get to the good stuff? When am I going to get to some cadavers or patients or whatever? And then what invariably happens is what Seth calls the dip, the depression, the part where you're so like, oh man, this is so hard. So you're playing the guitar and suddenly you get stuck with the B7th chord. It's like, are you kidding me here? Or you're a pre-med and you get organic chemistry. And it's like, oh my God, you have to be a rocket science to figure this out. And you get depressed and you're in that dip. You're in that, instead of being climbing up a hill, you're rolling downhill fast. And Seth says you got to get out of that dip, and how everyone gets out of that dip is a little bit different. And this is the real value of today's lesson, because it's a question that I ask all of my clients on our very, very first meeting to help them get through the dip and prepare for the dip so they have the internal mental resources to pull themselves up when life gets them down. And here's the question: what will the book do for you? What do you want the book to do for you? You know, lots of times people say, oh, I know what I want the book to do for my clients or my readers. And we'll get to that in another issue as well, another episode. But they don't ask, what do you want the book to do for you? You know, if you don't have that internal motivation, that internal knowledge, that you can see your goal in the distance and say, aha, that's why I'm writing this book. This is why I'm spending this time, this energy, and this money, and this effort to write the book. This is the ultimate thing that's going to help me achieve this certain reality. And I have heard people say several things. You may relate to them. Some people want to make money. And that's great. They're using the book as a big business card, and they're using it as a way to get people into their funnel, get people into their email system so they can market to them. And that's great. They want to have a book so they can go to networking meetings and say, hey, I'm an author, and this helps me stand out from everyone else who's doing the exact same thing that you are doing. And that's fine too. By the way, there are no wrong answers. I'm giving you some ideas that can inspire you to say, yeah, that's why I'm writing the book. Some people say, I want to become a best-selling author. That's always been my goal, to be a best-selling author. That's fine too. Some people want to leave a legacy. They've been in business for a number of years, or they want to write a memoir. They want to leave the tips and ideas to the next generation and help people along the way and say, here are the 10 things that I've learned that can really make a difference in your life. And that's cool. Other people want to share the anecdotes of their life. I just finished reading a book by Gary Marshall, who was the creator of Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley and numerous other shows. That very, very famous guy. And it was a wonderful, chatty book about his time in Hollywood. And believe it or not, there were actually some business tips along the way. It wasn't set up like, here are the 10 things you should do for success, but they were very insightful about how he conducted his business, and you could learn from them as well. So very, very nicely done. Other people write legacy books or top 10 books to say, here are the 10 things you need to do to succeed. And they have stories that illustrate those points. And that's fine too. What are some other reasons to write a book? Some personal goals. Some people have always wanted to write a book, so this helps them fulfill that lifelong dream of writing a book. Maybe they want to show it to their parents and say, look, or show it to their kids and say, hey, I've done all these things. I've led a life worth living. Other people want to write family books, memoirs, or family history books. So their kids and grandkids know from whence they came, which is all very good. So I'm hoping that some of these ideas are resonating with you. As you're hearing these ideas, what's going through your mind? What are you thinking about? What is propelling you and saying, yeah, I know why I'm writing this book. I really want to do, and then fill in the blank. So write that down, put it on a piece of paper, put it on the wall, put it on your mirror, put it on your bathroom mirror, put it in a place where you're going to see it every single day. And that way you'll be reminded. So when you go through that dip and you see that, oh man, why am I doing this? Or, oh man, I have to write something else today and I don't know what to write about. And why am I doing this? You'll be able to look at that piece of paper and say, aha, now I remember. This is what's inspiring. This is what's going to help you get through the dip so you can write your book, leave a legacy, make money, make an impact, inspire others, or whatever else I haven't thought of that you have thought of. Is perfectly wonderful. So I hope this has helped you. And then we have lots of other videos on this channel to help you write your book in a flash. I'd suggest you go to our next video on how your reader will be transformed by reading your book. That's the flip side of this question. How will you be transformed? How will you be better? How will you make an impact? Well, next question, how will your readers be impacted by your book? So watch that video. We have lots more on our channel. Subscribe, and you'll be notified when we have new videos which come out periodically.